on this. Let me actually change the view. Perfect. So check this out. For the last few days, we've been diving into the mindset on persistence, right? And we've been reading through Think and Grow Rich. Just in case anyone wasn't sure what that book was, it's Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill. And we stopped on chapter 9, the chapter on persistence, because to me, that's one of the more important of all of them. All the factors are very important, but that's one of the main ones because persistence has been proven to be one of the determining factors in getting us to that next level. Because we could be missing a lot of other skills. We could be missing the charisma. We could be missing the ability to sell. We could be, right? There's could be so many things we're lacking in those categories. But if we remain persistent, right, we will eventually break through. This is actually something Cody and I talked about. Cody Barton was saying that, in the beginning, he's not a salesman like Pace. He's not a closer like Pace. But he says, look, if it's going to take Pace 10 phone calls to go get a deal, and it might take me 100 phone calls, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go make 110 phone calls. I'm going to go find a deal. I'm going to outpace him. I'm going to win based on the fact that I'm going to be persistent enough that I'm not stopping. So if I'm going to share my screen one more time, because we're going to finish up with persistence. We're just about done with it. We are basically done with it. I'm going to skip over a few things, but these last 3 paragraphs, I want to make sure that they get into us because it's really crucial that we take this message home. So here it reads this. These and many other similar questions have arisen in my mind as I've observed men like Henry Ford, who started from scratch and built an industrial empire of huge proportion with little else in the way of a beginning but persistence. So Henry Ford only had persistence to start. Or Thomas A. Edison. We all know the story of Thomas Edison, who with less than 3 months of schooling, this is a scientist, this is an inventor, a creator, with less than 3 months of schooling, became the world's leading inventor and converted persistence into the talking machine, the moving picture machine, the incandescent light bulb, to say nothing of half a hundred other useful inventions. We are sitting inside of our homes right now with incandescent light bulbs because Thomas A. Edison was persistent enough. Now, I know some of y'all are going to argue and say, like, yo, he stole from other people, Nikola Tesla, this, that, and the third. Listen, history books remember him. The reason the history books remember him is because he remained persistent. He kept knocking on the door of life until it opened up and it gave him exactly what he wanted. So his goals were met, his desires were met from this little word called persistence, right? I have the happy privilege of analyzing both Mr. Edison and Mr. Ford year by year over a long period of years, and therefore the opportunity to study them at close range. So I speak from actual knowledge when I say that I found no quality save persistence in either of them that even remotely suggested the major source of their stupendous achievement. As one makes an impartial study of the prophets, the philosophers, the miracle men, and religious leaders of the past, one is drawn to the inevitable conclusion that persistence, concentration of effort, and definiteness of purpose were the major source of their achievements. And notice this one, because we're going to be diving into this a little bit today, this concentration of effort. In other words, there is persistence, there is a definiteness of purpose, and then there's a focus, right? A focused power. So I want you all to think about this for a second. The sun, right? The actual like sun that's in our atmosphere, that's in our solar system, that heats up this planet, that allows life to grow here. That thing is putting out a massive amount of energy every single moment. Just an unbelievable amount of energy, like millions of nuclear bombs worth of energy at every moment. I don't know if it's really millions of nuclear bombs. I don't actually know how much energy. I'm just going to say it's a lot of energy. And that energy makes its way to Earth, and it's actually able to sustain life on this planet. And not only does it do that, when you go outside on a sunny day, you can actually feel the sun begin to warm your face up, right? You actually feel the heat from it. You can actually feel this. Why? This is my question. Why doesn't the sun burn you alive and melt you alive? Its energy is dispersed widely. However, here on Earth, we can create things that are a fraction of the energy that the sun is putting out, right? And yet, with that focus, with concentrating that energy, we're able to create lasers that are able to slice through steel, right? So, with a fraction of the sun's energy, we're able to slice through simply because we focus that energy. That's the power of focus. So we want to keep that in mind as well. I wanted to make sure that part didn't get passed over. This is why one of my habits for 2022, the first habit I'm building actually for myself, is the ability of just staying focused on a single task until that task is done. And learning how to shut off all the other noise because I understand the concentration, the power of concentration, the power of focus. Right. So I just want to make sure that you pick that up. Right. When we come into these calls, notice that I'm not on my cell phone. I'm not doing anything else. I am focused on just this. Right. If I'm watching a Zoom pace, I'm not trying to do 40 other things. I'm focused on just that Zoom. If I'm on a seller call, I'm not focused on cooking dinner at the same time. I'm focused on just that seller call. Start to bring that focus in and couple that with your persistence and couple that with the fact that you're intentional about why you're there, what you're doing. This is starting to create the formula. We're slowly beginning to stack, right? We're slowly stacking. And each day, make sure we're doing the work each day. That makes the stacking part easier, right? So just be very intentional about why you're here. So let me jump back onto the screen because we're going to finish off with this right here. So just consider this, for example, the strange and fascinating story of Muhammad. You know what? I'm actually not even going to read that. If you have this book, I highly recommend you come through and you read The Last Great Prophet, a piece from this book. It's really interesting. It's the story of Muhammad, the prophet, and you see how the power of persistence worked in his life to make him somebody that the world remembered. What we're going to do is we're going to skip through this. We're going to jump on down to chapter 10, right? We're going to jump into the power of the mastermind. But before I jump into the power of the mastermind, I want to understand, I want to hear from a few people, maybe like 2 or 3 people, just what is it that you think has been preventing people from being persistent? Why do you think people stop soon? Like, I'm curious to hear from any one of you. Maybe it's your own personal experience, or maybe it's what you've observed in others. Why do you think people give up being persistent?
It's not easy.
Maurice says because it's not easy, right? I think that's a big one, right? They run into difficulty, right? We all know. I mean, we're about to see the worldwide phenomenon called New Year's resolutions happen next week or this coming weekend. We're gonna see the gyms are like exciting, like they're salivating at the mouth because they know a lot of people are gonna come in. They know a lot of new memberships are gonna happen, right? Like they are gung ho. They're hiring salespeople left and right now because they know what the flood is coming. However, they know come February, their numbers are gonna dwindle off, right? Because getting out of bed early in the morning when you're not excited anymore is not easy. Simple, but not easy. So Maurice, thank you for that answer. Anyone else? Why do people fall off on persistence?
They're not
Purpose isn't
getting
clear.
results.
Oh, I heard two, but I heard Sarah's and I heard Seth. But Sarah, you said they're not getting results, which is big, right? I mean, how do you feel when you don't get results? I know how I feel. It sucks. I hate not getting results. So like ask yourself, man, like how do I respond when I don't get the result right away? When I don't get the result I want? Forget even right away. When I flat out fail, how do I feel when I just straight up I screwed it up? Like I lost the opportunity. The opportunity is gone. Right? Like I was on the diet and I messed up. I was doing the 90-day challenge and I failed at day 40. What do I do in those moments? These are questions you want to ask yourself. And then you want to conjure up your own answer. Yo, Seth, I want to get back. What did you say, bro?
I said their purpose isn't clear.
Their purpose isn't clear. And I think that is one of the biggest factors. In fact, we read about that factor yesterday, that when the purpose isn't clear, it's hard to remain persistent. It's like you don't know where you're going. You don't have your roadmap. So we want to be aware of these things. And we want to make sure that if it's affecting us, what are we doing about it? Guys, I think I showed you this, right? Look at the sticky notes I got on there, right? I have sticky notes on my wall. Like I'm home for the week, but I came home and I was like, all right, like let me start sticky noting the wall so I don't forget. Like when I'm like, oh, shoot, what am I supposed to be focusing on? Okay, this tells me I need to go get my 4 Airbnbs. All right, I gotta develop the habit of finishing tasks. Okay, we got to get Morning Mindset Coffee to 50 members by January 31st. All right, we gotta get 2 podcast episodes out each week. Okay, cool. And then under each sticky note, I start putting like little pieces of the plan as well. So I have sticky notes here, and then underneath, it's like, all right, well, these are going to be the steps that. So when I'm looking at the big plan, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta get 4 Airbnbs. How the heck am I supposed to do that? All right, well, the step under it says get Airbnb number 1. Oh, okay. Whew. All right, that's way easier than getting 4. How do I do that? Okay, well, it says I need to call the realtors in Florida. Oh, okay. Well, uh, I'm dummy proofing my life because I'm a dummy. I don't know things. I rely on these plans. I rely on everything else to get me there. Right? This is what we have to do. Right? If we want to get the results, we've got to be persistent. That means if I didn't just get it right away, cool, let's make it easier. Let's baby step it. Let's spoon feed your life to yourself. Right? Set yourself up with your own training wheels so you get there. So speaking of this now, we're going to tap into a power that's going to help us get there. And this is why I love this book, guys. This is low-key one of my favorite books. So this was the book that gave me one of the biggest paradigm shifts in my life. So I always revisit this book. It's like the Bible, right? You read these books and you reread these books and you reread these books because as you read them, they read you. You show up as a different person every single time. So let's jump back into this over here because we're going to talk about the power of the mastermind. So the power of the mastermind, aka the driving force. Y'all thought we was kidding. This is one of the most powerful things. In order to produce, you need power. To gather more power, the easiest way and the fastest way is doing so through mastermind groups. You've heard it. It's becoming a buzzword actually in the last year or two, where before you used to say mastermind, people had no clue what you were talking about. Now it's becoming a little bit more popularized, which I love. I want to make mastermind a common household word. Like people are like, yo, you going to the mastermind this weekend? Yo, who's in your mastermind? I want that to be essential for people because it gives power to people. It allows them to do much more than they can ever do alone. So this is the 9th step towards riches. It's power. Power is essential for success in the accumulation of money. Plans plans are inert and useless without sufficient power to translate them into action. This chapter will describe the method by which an individual may obtain and apply power. Power may be defined as organized or intelligently directed knowledge. Power, as the term is here used, referred to organized effort. Organized effort. Sufficient to enable an individual to transmute desire into its monetary equivalent. Organized work towards a definite end in a spirit of harmony. So we're gonna break that down in a bit. All right. So just keep with me here. Power is required for the accumulation of money. Power is necessary for the retention of money after it has been accumulated. So it's not even just about getting it. Come on now, yo, guys, like Napoleon Hill is talking like the wealth. You see how these principles never go away, right? Because for a second, if we stop and we think about what we learned from some of our wealthy counterparts, they don't just teach you how to get the money, they teach you how to keep the money, right? Because as you start building wealth, they're saying like, hey, you need asset protection, you need this, you need tax protection, right? So Napoleon Hill's already been talking about it from day one. A lot of us never even hear these kind of conversations in our life. I don't know about you, but I didn't grow up with the conversation about how to build wealth and then how to also keep it, right? We didn't even have to worry about keeping it. We didn't have it to keep. Like that conversation never even had to come. So let's dive back into it. Really, like this is where we want to focus. We're going to figure out how the power is necessary for the retention of money after it's been accumulated. Let us ascertain how power may be acquired. If power is organized knowledge, let us examine the source of knowledge. We have infinite intelligence, which is one of the highest, it is the highest source of knowledge. This is what we refer to as God. This is what some people refer to as universe, right? This is tapping into the knowledge that, guys, there's nothing new under the sun. I want everyone to understand that. There is nothing new under the sun. All of the information, all of the knowledge, all the possibilities already exist. What we need to work on doing is not creating that information, it's discovering that information. It's building up our ability to be aware of what's already out there. So this source of knowledge may be contracted through the procedure described in another chapter with the aid of the creative imagination. We have accumulated experience, the accumulated experience of men, that portion of which has been organized and recorded, may be found in any well-equipped public library. An important part of the accumulated experience is taught in public schools and colleges where it's been classified and organized. So we have infinite intelligence, all the information in the universe. We have accumulated experience, aka our libraries, aka our cell phones now that hold all the information man has acquired, and experiment and research. In this field of science, there's practically every other walk of life. Men are gathering, classifying, and organizing new facts. So this is where we start to uncover a little bit more. We're kind of picking things out of infinite intelligence and we're beginning to organize it, or picking things out of nature and we're starting to be able to describe it, right? And this is how we build our accumulated experience. So this is the source which one must turn to when knowledge is not available through accumulated experience. Here too, the creative imagination must often be used. Knowledge may be acquired from any of the foregoing sources. It may be converted into power by organizing it into definite plans. Again, we see definite plans, and by expressing those plans in terms of action, right? Your plans need to be expressed through action, right? Examination of the three major sources of knowledge will readily disclose the difficulty an individual would have if he depended on his efforts alone. In assembling knowledge and expressing it through definite plans in terms of action, if his plans are comprehensive and if they contemplate large proportion, he must generally induce others to cooperate with him before he can inject them into a necessary element of power. Let's pause there for 2 seconds. I want to give a little bit of a preface before we dive deeper. You're going to realize, if you haven't already found this out in your personal lives, one of the most useful skills you're ever going to have is your ability to communicate with others. It's going to be your ability to get others to help you and to cooperate with others. Because nobody does anything alone. Nobody that does anything of note, no one that does anything great does it alone. There's always a team. Your ability to communicate with others will give you what you need in order to build that team. It is crucial that that is one of the skills you focus on. Reading and understanding people. Guys, like, people are what make the magic. If you're like, well, no, my product is amazing. Who does your product get sold to? It gets sold to people, right? When you build your product, are you the one building it? No. Chances are you have a factory working on it. You got contractors doing this. You got people are the secret sauce. Learn to work with people. Learn to treat people right. Learn to pour into people. Learn to communicate with people. Learn to vet people. Learn to build and structure the right groups of people. This is where the power lies. And if you don't believe me, just look around. Look at your favorite person. Look at the person that you look up to the most and analyze their life silently. Just kind of sit back for the next day or two and just watch and see, like, oh, wow, you know what, you can see there's the background team. There's a hidden team in the background that's helping that person grow. When we see people that have a ton of potential, but they don't have the growth, what's missing? Usually you're going to find that that's a lone wolf. They're missing their pack. It's important that we find our packs. It's important that we become aware that we require a pack, that we require a tribe. And recognize you might have to go through a few tribes. So that's what this chapter is about to get into a little bit with the mastermind. Because the mastermind is a fancy word of saying, like, your elite tribe. This is your power team, right? We can call it a lot of different things. I prefer mastermind because I learned about this principle from Napoleon Hill. So I give credit where credit's due. So let's look into what our mastermind is here. Gaining power through the mastermind. So the mastermind may be defined as coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. Guys, you're going to hate me today because I'm going to keep stopping and sharing this because, look, that definition needs to be like memorized and like not even memorized, but it just needs to be internalized. And one of my favorite areas in life to actually look at this, right? Because we can actually see the mastermind principle at work in a very practical way. because let's read that definition one more time, and then we're going to break it down in the most practical way that every single person here has witnessed the mastermind. The mastermind may be defined as the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. Has anybody here ever watched any sporting event, whether it be basketball, football, hockey? You are literally watching the physical embodiment of the mastermind principle. What happens when the best players in the world come together for a single purpose, for a single goal? Yo, we need to put this orange ball through that hoop. We need to stop the other team from putting this orange ball in that hoop. We start to see how they level up like crazy. In fact, you get the best players and they become better because they're put on the team. Because they are added into the mastermind, their level actually increases. This is why people get so excited when players trade teams, because they're like, oh my gosh, he's coming to this team? That means everybody on this team's about to level up. Just because his presence is now here, he has been added into this mastermind. Right? It is like when we take the batteries and we pack it all in, or we get the horses and they're pulling the sled. Right? There is a multiplying effect. It's not just an additional. It's a lot of people look at it like it's 1 + 1 = 2. It is not that. When we're talking about masterminds, we're talking about exponential growth that doesn't make sense. The math is different over here. It's 1 + 1 = 11. Like that's the sort of math that works with a mastermind. So I want us to be very, very aware of that. No individual may have great power without availing himself of the mastermind. In a preceding chapter, instructions were given for the creation of plans for the purpose of translating desire into its monetary equivalent. If you carry out these instructions with persistence and intelligence and use discrimination in the selection of your mastermind group, your objective will have halfway reached. It will be halfway reached before you even begin to recognize it. By simply setting up your foundation, he's saying you've already done half the work. If you create plans, if you have a definite purpose, if you're building a desire, you're remaining persistent, and now with discrimination, because it's okay to choose here, you say yes to the right people and no to the wrong people, you're already halfway there. You deciding to show up on something called Morning Mindset Coffee, where you're putting yourself in a room of people who are actively growing themselves, is already beginning to show that you're utilizing discrimination now in a sense of saying, hey, I'd rather be doing this with these people versus waking up in the morning and just watching the news on Fox 5 with the rest of the world, right? You're beginning that journey. You're already halfway there. So congratulations, proud of you for even taking that first step. Whether you knew what you were doing or whether you felt like you just lucked into being in a room like this and being in other rooms like this. So you may better understand the intangible potentialities of power available to you through a properly chosen mastermind group. We will here explain the two characteristics of the mastermind principle, one of which is economic in nature and the other is psychic. Yes, he just used the word psychic. The economic feature is obvious. Economic advantage may be created by any person who surrounds himself with the advice, counsel, and personal cooperation of a group of men who are willing to lend him wholehearted aid in a spirit of perfect harmony. This form of cooperation, of cooperative alliance, has been the basis of nearly every great fortune. Your understanding of this great truth may definitely determine your financial status. Guys, hang out with millionaires, be a millionaire. The psychic phase of the mastermind principle is much more abstract, much more difficult to comprehend because it has reference to spiritual forces which the human race as a whole is not well acquainted. You may catch a significant suggestion from the statement, no two minds ever come together without thereby creating a third invisible, intangible force which may be likened to a third mind. This part is the part that people have a little bit of a tougher time kind of wrapping their heads around, right? We can get and understand how, well, yeah, if I hang out with a lot of millionaires, if I'm hanging out with Mark Cuban and, Mark Zuckerberg and Warren Buffett, and we're all sitting at dinner or lunch together, well, then, yeah, odds are we're going to come up with some crazy $1 billion, billion ideas, right? But when he talks about the psychic side of things, we got to understand this is the real power at work, right? The real power at work is the fact that we as humans are spiritual beings. And there's no getting away from that. There's no, like, that's just a truth of this universe. That's a truth of our reality. It's important that we understand that and we tap into that. That's why yesterday I was saying there is no personal development like lecture, there's no personal development book, there's no personal development content that is complete without talking about the spirit. Right? I know a lot of people kind of shied away from the spirit. Maybe they had a bad experience with a certain religion. Hey, look, I don't like religion either. Personally, I think people are the thing that ruin the spiritual side of things. Because you're not like, oh man, like the church sucks. And you're like, no, the people in the church suck. Like that's what we end up not liking. We end up not liking those people, so we block off a part of that from ourselves. Napoleon Hill, it's not me. Napoleon Hill is literally telling you, you've got to be in touch with that side. You've got to be aware of that side. You've got to work and grow that side just as much as you're going to grow your intellect, just as much as you're going to grow your muscles and your body. You've got to grow your spirit. It's got to be a holistic growth if you're really gunning for health, for wealth. So keep in mind that the fact that there are only two known elements in the whole universe, energy and matter. That's it. There's energy and matter. It is a well-known fact that matter may be broken down into units of molecules, atoms, and electrons. These are units of matter which may be isolated, separated, and analyzed. Likewise, there are units of energy. The human mind is a form of energy, a part of it being spiritual in nature. When the minds of two people are coordinated in a spirit of harmony, the spiritual unit of energy of each mind form an affinity, which constitutes a psychic phase of the mastermind. I'm going to reread that one because this isn't necessarily simple reading if you're not used to reading these kind of stuff. So let's go back to it one more time. We're going to go through it a little bit slower. Likewise, there are units of energy. The human mind is a form of energy, a part of it being spiritual in nature. When the minds of two people are coordinated in a spirit of harmony, the spiritual unit of energy of each mind form an affinity, which constitutes a psychic phase of the mastermind. So they start to come together. They start to resonate with one another. The mastermind principle, or rather the economic feature of it, was first called to my attention by Andrew Carnegie himself over 25 years ago. Discovery of the principle was responsible for the choices of my life work. Mr. Carnegie's mastermind group consisted of a staff of approximately 50 men. That's a big mastermind, with whom he surrounded himself for the definite purpose of manufacturing and marketing steel. He attributed his entire fortune to the power he accumulated through this mastermind. Analyze the record of any men who's accumulated a great fortune and many of those who've accumulated modest fortune, and you will find that they have either consciously or unconsciously employed the mastermind principle. So let me just ask a silly question. How many of you have created masterminds for yourself? Right? Or at the very least, joined a mastermind that you feel is aiding you in getting to your goal. Right? Like I've done both. I've both joined a mastermind and I both created a mastermind. Right? And here's this cool thing. You can create masterminds around anything. Right? If you've ever had a gym buddy, someone that like after work at 5 o'clock would go with you to the gym, congratulate you, created a mastermind. Right? The more intentional we are about this, the more we have this awareness, the more we're like, oh, if you've ever gone to like, if you played music and you've gone and jammed out with your friends and like you got together with a group of people and you're just all jamming together, you created a mastermind. Right? There's this group energy that exists when everyone is there for a particular purpose. This is why people like going to church together on Sundays, because they're all there for the same reason, to come and worship and sing. Right? This is why people like going to entrepreneurial conferences, because they're all there for a particular reason. The mastermind energy is created whether they are aware or not. I can tell you that the people that are putting on the events, they typically are aware of this. They understand the power of the groups coming together. If anyone's used to go to like electronic festivals, right? EDC, Wonderland, like all that kind of stuff. I used to go there. And why was the energy so like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing? It's because we were all there for the same reason, to party, to have fun, to have a good time. So there was this harmonious coming together of minds. And that's what's felt. So now that we know that that's being created, now that we're aware, like, oh my gosh, that's a real thing. Yes, it's a very real thing. How can we create it to serve our definite purpose? It all comes back to our intention. This is why chapter 1 starts off with having that definite purpose. Because now that we're becoming aware of the way the system works, the way the game works, we can begin to play it. Right? This, and again, I got to come back to this, and you guys are going to hear me come back to this unapologetically. Work with the power of God, work with the power of the universe, become in harmony with that mind, right? Get into a mastermind with that mind, as well as all the other minds. Anchor into that mind and let other minds anchor into your mind, and watch what begins to happen in your life. Watch it. Like, don't like theorize about it. Like, try, experiment. What do you have to lose? You've got nothing to lose, but potentially on the flip side, you have everything to gain. This is what we do as investors. Guys, we like low risk, high reward. That is what we literally, like, that's what we do. We love low risk, high reward. So let's dive back into this a little bit. It is 7:32. You gotta see, I start getting into this stuff. Like, we're gonna have to stop and hit some more affirmations in a little bit, but let's dive into this for a few more minutes. We'll stop in the next 5 minutes. But great power can be accumulated through no other principle, right? We're talking about great power, not little power. We're talking about great power, because you can't do it all alone. So energy is nature's universal set of building blocks out of which she constructs every material thing in the universe, including man and every form of animal and vegetable life. Through a process which only nature completely understands, she translates energy into matter. Nature's building blocks are available to men in the energy involved in thinking. Man's brain may be compared to an electric battery. It absorbs energy from the ether, which permeates every atom of matter and fills the entire universe. I mean, we can literally stop on that paragraph and spend an entire day breaking that down. Because notice what word is big here: thinking. Most of you know I have my podcast. Yesterday, I interviewed David Richter. He's the author of Profit First for Real Estate Investing. And he and I were talking about something at the end of the episode where he said, look, out of all the people I've worked with, all the companies I've worked with, all the people we've taken from 6 figures to 7 figures or 7 figures to 8 figures, what you get as your greatest ROI, because he helps entrepreneurs keep more money. He helps them build more money and keep more money. He says your greatest ROI that you're going to spend your time on as an entrepreneur, this word right here, thinking. He said that is your greatest ROI activity. It's sitting down and thinking. Now, I said, bro, you just opened up a can of worms, because we got to talk about this. Because here's the challenge. What is thinking? I honestly will bet that if you walk down the street and ask people, like, what is thinking? How do you think? You aren't going to get the right answer from most people. Probably like 8 out of 10 people won't be able to give you the right answer. Because here's what I theorize. Here's what I hypothesize. That most people, when you tell them, yo, you got to think, and you ask them, what is thinking? Most people are going to be like, well, isn't that like studying? No. Studying is reading, right? Because thinking is an activity, so they're kind of close, right? They're going to be like, well, is that like going to school and learning? Not necessarily. Well, is it like, going out and getting experience from doing things? No, not necessarily. Thinking is a very specific activity. And here's what he and I agreed thinking was. Thinking it's 2 parts. The first part is asking questions, right? We want to learn how to ask questions of other people, and ask questions of ourselves. That begins the process of thinking, because when we ask a question comes with an answer. So this is where the thinking actually turns on, because when we ask that question, it is now up to us to create and conjure up an answer. So the actual creation of an answer to a question, that is the process of thinking. That is how you work your mind out. That is how you get that mental exercise. It's by asking the question and then leaving space for you to create the answer. But if I ask the question like I'm doing right now, like unfortunately right now I'm speaking, so I'm talking, so I'm just feeding you answers. But later on, it's up to you to come back and ask yourself, hey, what did Marlon say this morning? What did we read in that book? Did any of that make sense? Why did the book say that? And not just ask the questions, but also make space to come up with the answers. That is how we think. And ask yourself later, does that make sense? Is he right? I can be wrong. But you've got to ask yourself that question, and then you have to create that answer. Or you have to have somebody else ask you that question, and you need to come up with the answer. You can't let them give you the answer, because then it's not thinking. It is simply absorbing, it's consuming information. This is why they'll say, like, again, I'm bringing it back to the Bible because this is a great framework for it. They say when you go to church, you can't just take the pastor's sermon. You actually need to go pick up the scripture yourself and go read it for yourself. You can't just take his word on it. You got to go read through it because it's up to you to question what you're reading. You can't just take it blindly from him. You got to go sit there and read it and say, what is it actually saying? What's it saying to me? What does this mean? So be aware of this, because this is going to be important. So I wanted to make sure we understand that. We want to think. Thinking is asking questions and then being silent and creating the answer. You have to create the answer. And oh my gosh, like think about your seller calls. Think about why the seller calls work so well. Because you ask the sellers questions and then you're silent. You let them fill in the blank. So then they build their own conviction around what the answer is. Because if you just give them the answer, there is no conviction behind it. So we're the same way. As I'm reading this stuff to you, it's cool. This is hopefully getting you to the place where you're starting to ask new questions, ask better questions. But ultimately, it's incomplete unless you begin to create these answers for yourselves. Right? I'm simply just showing you a way. I'm showing you the way that makes sense to me. For you to build your own conviction, it's going to be you coming up with your own answers. You taking your own notes, you having your own interpretation. Because your life is your personal story. It's your life. So I just want to make sure we get that locked in, because it's got to be internalized. It's got to mean something to me. It's got to mean something to you. So let me see what time it is here. It is 7:40. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold up here. We're going to jump to some affirmations because I can read through this stuff forever, right? But before we jump into any of the affirmations, I'm curious for anyone I'm going to create an opportunity here for anyone to share anything that like has come up for them while we're going through this today. And recognize when you share, right, that's you participating in the information, participating in the discussion, in the conversation. That's where you're going to take the most from it. You're going to extract the most out of these morning calls from actually being here and conversating with it.
Hi,
Hey,
I want to add something.
go ahead, love.
No, go ahead, Mr. Sheldon. The floor
Nope,
is
nope,
yours.
nope. Nope, it's yours.
Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. And this is a conversation that I have with myself quite frequently because on more occasions than not, I always get people saying that, and I know this about myself, where I have a superpower of connecting with people. And I always kind of observe people as well. It's just one of my favorite pastimes. And just seeing how people respond, how they react. It's just humans are just so fascinating to me. And I've always been that way. I think one of the first things is having self-awareness, that which you were talking about briefly. But one thing I've also analyzed about individuals is, we are selfish, right? And in terms of we like to hear ourselves speak, in terms of we're more based on me. And a lot of times what I realize what kind of hinders people from connecting and being able to get beyond surface level is people just don't ask questions. In terms of, I can have so many conversations and I love it, right? In terms of asking people questions and hearing people's thoughts. And it, I'm getting to a point where I'm more comfortable speaking about myself, but for the longest time, I am so uncomfortable speaking about myself. So it makes it easier to ask people questions because it allows them to speak and it allows them to share. And a lot of times they don't return the questions in response, right? Just because, again, to our human nature, we like to focus on ourselves and we don't have that self-awareness to kind of go back and forth. And I think that's important. I think it's important in terms of conversing is just being able to ask people questions, not just yourself, of course, which is also vital, but in terms of just taking it yourself out of your shell and putting the light on someone else, and you'll realize so many things. But that's my 2 cents, and that's something that I've also contemplated quite frequently, actually.
Wow, I really like that because that's a conversation most people don't ever have, right? Like that reminder, ask the other person a question, right? Like, because, oh my gosh, love, I think you just like hit on something that most people feel all the time. Like when they ask someone a question and like they're kind of waiting for the person to ask them back so they can like share, and then it just never comes. It's like, "So you're really gonna do that to me, huh?"
Well, for me, I love it though. It like, unless, yeah, but typically I don't mind it just because I just know how we operate and it's okay. And it makes me just know more about a person. So I don't mind it, but it's just something that I always do. I do analyze and realize that's where we fail.
Absolutely. I love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, and when you ask them questions without expecting them to ask you back, it just kind of makes you more likable to them. So that's another benefit of that love. But
Definitely.
I wanted to take it back to the mastermind thing. I wanted to just point out, like, you can have a very good mastermind with people that you're paying. Like, as entrepreneurs, one of the most important masterminds for us is with our attorney or our CPA, those types of things. So that's, a perfect example of a mastermind. Even though we're paying them, or like because we're paying them, we're in harmony. They're putting an hour aside for us to think about our goals and our business. So like to even take that a step further, like once in a while, I've done this one time, and it was awesome. I brought an attorney and a CPA on the same call, and we like mastermind together because your attorney is worried about legal protection, your CPA is worried about tax benefits, but I'm worried about both of them, and they don't really care about each other's profession. So coming together as a mastermind and putting out that definite purpose, like, hey, me as an entrepreneur, this is what I'm worried about, and then letting them kind of fill in the gaps with their specialized knowledge, like that's a slept on mastermind.
Dude, that is freaking gold right there. Because yeah, like what you just said, like your employees, the people you hire, like you guys, if you get into any human interaction, it is the opportunity for a mastermind. Like every human interaction, like us being here in the morning right now is a mastermind. And it's just a matter of how purposeful are we going to get with it. So I love what Rick said, right? You came in and you like put up like, yo guys, this is the mission. This is the assignment. Go. Like I put you both in the room together. Go. That's the assignment.
Yeah.
Amazing things happen when we are able to have that clarity, that definiteness of purpose. So I love that. I love that, Rick. All right. So unless anyone else has anything they want to share, we're going to jump into some morning affirmations. So we're going once, we're going twice, we're going into affirmations. I'm curious sometimes, like when you guys have your cameras off, I'm like, yo, are they sleeping right now? like it's cool, yo. Like if you just like jump in the morning and you're just like, yo, like I just like listening to this and I doze right back to bed. That's cool. Do you? All right, cool. So let's get.
Not gonna lie, it's happened once.
Yo, Seth is honest. He's like, yeah, bro. Like, just that one morning, man. I love it that you're out on the bike right now, bro. Is it raining by you?
Not right now, but yeah. A while ago, I trained my dog how to go on bike rides with me, so got him with me too, and that's always super fun.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Is that Finn?
Yep.
Man, I miss Finn. All right, here we go. We got some affirmations going on this morning. So if everybody could please unmute, turn the cameras on. I would love to see some faces as we do this. I put you guys in gallery view because I'd like to see all the happy faces. Like, look at, there we go. Oh, here we go. We got some people in the house. All right, so you guys are awake. I knew it. So with the affirmations, you know how we like to start this off? Just take a minute to really think about your wins, right? And maybe it was your wins from yesterday. Maybe it was a win from childhood. Just ask your brain. Just be like, yo, mind, show me some wins, right? Like you've been collecting all these wins throughout your life. So let's just take 10, 15 seconds to see some wins before we step into this affirmation. Because we want to make sure that we're coming at it with some good energy. I need your extra hype energy today. All right. I don't know about you guys, but every morning when I ask my mind to show me some wins, the memories that come up, I'm like, holy crap, I forgot that even happened. I just saw myself in like elementary school when we went on a field trip to the aquarium, and it was the first time my mom ever came on a field trip with me. And I just felt like the coolest kid in school because like I had my mom on the field trip. Like, and that was such a win. It was just like, yo, your mom didn't bring you lunch? Haha, mine did. Like, so these are the sort of like things that like start to come up because it puts us in a good mood. It puts us in the right space. And this is the kind of energy we want to step into these affirmations with because it's an energetic feeling that we're going to be working with right now. So on that note, let's jump in with these affirmations. And I want to get the most amount of energy from you. I want to pretend that there's a camera crew following you around and they're about to film this for the whole world to see what sort of energy are you about to show up with, especially Maurice, who's out there in the middle of a store. I want you to make the people working today feel kind of like, what the hell's going on in aisle 7? So I am healthy, wealthy, and wise.
I am
Healthy and wise.
and wise.
Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Every day
In
in
every way,
I'm getting
better and better.
I am a money magnet.
I am a money magnet.
Money magnet.
Money flows to me easily, frequently, abundantly, and in ever-increasing amounts.
Money flows to me easily, frequently,
abundantly, and ever increasing amount.
I am loved.
I am loved.
I am loved.
I am blessed and highly favored.
I am
blessed
and highly favored.
Today is a great day, and I expect great things to happen to and for me.
Today
is a great day. For me.
I create my abundant life.
I create my abundant
An
life.
abundant life.
I am committed to my commitments.
I am committed to my commitment.
Commitments.
I am a generous giver and an excellent receiver.
I am a
Generous giver and an
And an excellent receiver.
Love it. The smarter I work, the luckier I get.
The
Smarter I work,
the luckier
I get.
I'm relentlessly seeking my goals every day.
I am relentlessly
My goals
every day.
Lucrative opportunities always come my way.
Lucrative opportunities
always
come
my way.
I share the wealth.
I share
the
wealth.
All right, let's get it. That's round 1. We got to step into round 2 and round 3. And again, some energy here. Like I'm telling you, that camera crew is watching you right now. So I got to let them know I am healthy, wealthy, and wise.
I am healthy,
Healthy,
wealthy,
and
wise.
wise.
Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Every
Every day, in every way, I'm getting
better
better.
and better.
I am a money magnet.
I am a magnet.
Money flows to me easily, frequently, abundantly, and in ever increasing amounts.
Money flows
Flows
to me easily, frequently, abundantly, and
abundantly,
increasing
ever
amounts.
Amounts.
I am loved.
I am loved.
I am blessed and highly favored.
I am blessed.
Blessed and highly
favored.
Today is a great day, and I expect great things to happen to and for me.
Today is a
Today
great
is a
day.
Great day, and I expect great things to happen to and for me.
and for me.
I create my abundant life.
I create my abundant life.
I am committed to my commitments.
I am
I am
committed to
committed
my
to my
commitment.
commitments.
I am a generous giver and an excellent receiver.
I am a generous giver
Excellent
and
receiver.
receiver.
The smarter I work, the luckier I get.
The
Smarter I work, the luckier I get.
I am relentlessly seeking my goals every day.
I
am relentlessly
seeking my
seeking my
goals
goals
every day.
Lucrative opportunities always come my way.
Lucrative opportunities
always
always
my
come
way.
my way.
I share the wealth.
I share the
Share the wealth.
All right, that was round 2. Now, on this round 3, I need y'all to use your imagination. I need you to say all of these words as if they are already true, as if it has already happened. Like you have the magic sauce, and whatever you say next for the next minute is just about to be created.
meeting today.
That's the level of expectation I need. Yo, who's got the horn? Yo, like that's where we need to come at it with today. So these words right here, you're about to speak the magic sauce. You're about to speak it right now. It says, I am healthy, wealthy, and wise.
I am healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Every day,
Better and better.
Yo, I am a money magnet.
I am a magnet.
Yo, money flows to me easily, frequently, abundantly, and in ever increasing amounts.
Money
Flows
Flows to me easily, frequently, abundantly, and increasing amounts.
ever increasing amounts.
I am loved.
I am
loved.
I am blessed and highly favored.
I am blessed.
Highly favored.
Yo, today is a great day, and I expect great things to happen to and for me.
Today
Today is a great day.
Expect
Great
things
to for me.
I create my abundant life.
I create
light.
I'm committed to my commitments.
I am
I am
committed
committed
to
to
my
my
commitments.
commitments.
I am a generous giver and an excellent receiver.
I am a generous giver and
Excellent
receiver.
The smarter I work, the luckier I get.
Smarter I work,
the luckier I get.
I am relentlessly seeking my goals every day.
I am
relentlessly
my goals.
Every day.
day.
Lucrative opportunities always come my way.
Lucrative opportunities always
My way.
my way.
I share the wealth.
I
share the wealth.
All right, how are we feeling today, y'all?
Good.
There we go. There we go. So I love it because I look at the clock and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just keep going later and later every day. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that we're still having time for the goal setting. If you guys haven't noticed, each day about affirmations now, we're finishing up around 7:55, closer to 8 o'clock. And what we've been doing is we've been extending the goal sheet at that 8 o'clock hour. So what I'm gonna do is still have time for that because it helps me. Like I know personally, like I look at that goal and I come back to that goal sheet throughout the day and I check back in. So today it's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna jump into the goals right now. If you have to run, totally understand. However, if you still want to get through your goals and you want to kind of announce it to the group and put it on the sheet, let's do that together. Just raise your hand. We can have you go first, and we can make sure that we're holding you accountable to it because this goal sheet help. I personally, it helps me. Definitely helps me each day by coming on here and saying this is what's needed in order to get me closer to the vision. So let me share this sheet just in case you guys don't have it. Oh, Seth, you are the freaking man, bro. From his cell phone on the bike. Come on, Yal. Dedication. So let's look at it. Today is the 29th, right? Today is the 29th. So we're gonna jump into it. So while I see that a lot of you are filling it out right now, so we'll let a couple people fill it out. In the meanwhile, if you want to go first, please just like raise your hand, like your virtual hand. So that way we can have you go first. If you're like, yo, I gotta run in 2 minutes and I don't have time to listen for everyone else's and you just gotta bounce, just raise your virtual hand. We'll get you going first. Alexis raised her real hand, so we'll definitely have her go first. So Alexis, since you just raised your real hand, let me get to you. Alexis, yesterday it looks like you didn't hit your goal. And let me ask this, Alexis. Was it that you didn't hit your one most important goal, or was it that you didn't hit all three?
I didn't hit my most important one.
Okay. So what happened there? Because yesterday, I believe your most important one was to generate $200 from work.
Not enough hours in a day.
Oh, no. We're not going to say that ever again because there's 24 hours in a day. It's the same 24 that every last one of us get.
All right. There weren't enough shops for the time period for me to fulfill them.
Okay. So
That was the truth.
what can we do differently going forward? Or what do we need to do going forward? And maybe it's not even anything different. What do we need to do going forward so that the goal can be hit?
That goal was too high.
Don't say that to me.
Oh, no, it was reasonable.
Remember what we say. We don't change the target. We might change the route in which we get there, but we don't change the target.
All right, I need a different route, an additional route.
Okay, so how do we get to that additional route? What do we need to do?
Work on getting additional routes. I'm brainstorming.
Okay, let me ask you, is it possible if there was somebody else, do you think it was possible for somebody to hit your goal yesterday? Was there someone that exists that they could hit your goal?
Doing what I do, yes.
Okay, so what would that person have done yesterday that maybe you didn't think of yesterday?
Well, they would have stayed out longer working.
Okay, so they would have just been a little bit more persistent with that Les Brown mindset of I'm not going home till somebody buys this TV.
Something like that.
All right. So I know we still got life, we still got family, we still got other things to worry about and all that good stuff. But it sounds like the answer that you just came up with is there's a little bit more persistence that can be had. That's good. It's going to be uncomfortable, but there's a little bit more persistence that can be had. There's a little bit more in the gas tank to give.
Right.
And I already know there's more in the gas tank because you're still alive. The gas tank's only empty when
Right.
you're dead, you know? So what are we going to do today? What are we going to do today for you?
I set a new goal that I know I'll reach because I'm getting started earlier.
Let's go. I love that. She said, yo, there are not more. I can't make 25 hours, but my butt's going to start earlier. Alexis, I appreciate you.
Okay.
All right. So what's the word that you aim to be today?
Persistent.
Woo! All right. So that means when you're going through today and you feel like stopping, what word are you going to say to yourself?
I am persistent.
Hey, amen. That's what you're going to say to yourself. When you feel like stopping today, just remember that I am persistent. One more.
Okay.
One more.
I am persistent.
Let's go. I love it, Alexis. You got this. All right. Remember that today.
All right, thanks.
Yo, my man Rick, what do we got, bro? Later, Rachel.
What's up?
What's happening, bro?
Not much. I did hit my goal yesterday. I want to call 5 insurance providers to talk about the rentals, the RV rentals, and I want to just be friendly.
Yo, I love it. Yo, he's already being friendly. He already started on his word. He already started. I love it. Yo, good stuff, bro. All right. Carolyn, what's happening?
Good morning. Hi, how are you?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Good, good. I'm doing good.
I love it. So
I
what are we working on today?
I accomplished my goals yesterday,
Let's go.
and today I have a seller finance deal that I want to lock up this afternoon. I want to time block plan with Myron to get him set up with his time block,
Let's go.
and we need to set up a Zoom. And that's it.
Let's go. I love it. Sounds like you got
And my
fun.
words, I have 2 words today. I want to be more patient and confident.
I like those because those 2 words work together.
Yes.
Because when you have that confidence, you're able to be patient. There's no anxiety.
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, you got it. Let us know
Thank
if you
you.
need any help with anything.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So Sarah, you still on here?
Still here.
What's happening, Sarah?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome. So for me, I did not complete my goals. I did start on them, but did not complete them. I'm learning that after work, I really don't have the energy to do it, but we will see. So my goals are going to take me a little bit longer. So today I will continue my plan of 2022, and I will finish my paperwork for to become a referral agent. And today I want to be determined.
Nice. I love it. All right. And I would say if you started working on your plans yesterday and you started moving towards it, then you have completed your goals yesterday because you said yesterday that you had work, that you're starting the new job, that your time frame is going to be all wonky, but you're going to be working on the plans. So you're moving in the right direction. That progress, not perfection, is where we need to be at. So I love it.
Thank you.
Yo,
Good
Seth.
viewpoint. I like that.
Yeah, of course. Yo, Seth, by the way, I got so happy. Like when I just saw like wall tramp, I was just like, who's in here talking about trampolines? I'm like, oh, Seth. All right.
Yep. Yes, it didn't quite accomplish my goals yesterday. Didn't plan my time out well enough, and didn't have a good enough estimate of how long the task would take. So continuing that today. On that note, I wanted to ask the group here. One thing I've struggled with is trying to figure out how to find people for short-term projects like handyman to do like painting, building, things like that. And I'm not sure what like just good places to look are to find short-term people. So want to throw that out there. But then my other 2 real quick here, just place the order for the materials that I need, and then spend some time meditating on my purpose. And the type of person I want to be today is methodical. So really trying to accomplish one thing at a time and having that plan set out.
Yeah, man.
Seth, if you quick piece, if you want to find quick handyman, put a post on Craigslist in your area. That's honestly probably the fastest way. And then put a like secondary phone number so they can reach out to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then also, what I like to do is when I'm driving around and I see people, I like working on job sites. Like I actually pull over and just like quickly go run in, and it's like, yo, who's in charge here? Because while I'm at their job site, I can also see this like quality of work they're doing. And if I can just like look inside and say, okay, looks like these guys are neat. Looks like they're doing good work. I can take their card, and now that's access. So it's a little bit of a slower build, but then you have that in your Rolodex for the future.
Good to know. Thank you both.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
There's also an app called TaskRabbit. You'll find like hundreds of people on there and just search for painters or whatever, and they'll have actually reviews on them too. So, and different price points.
Awesome. Perfect.
There we
That's what's
go. All right, there we go. We took care of Seth, man. Love it, bro. All right, let's see. Tasani, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh man. All right. So my first goal was is to continuing to update my business plan for next year. Really digging into the strategic and the tactics that I'm gonna do for next year to push my business forward. Still researching more on NFTs. And then still reading 30 minutes a day. The 10 Times Rule by Cardone. And I was gonna keep my word to be strategic, same as yesterday.
Yo, let's go. So, you know what? I was actually about to make a comment on the fact that I like that your plans, your things to do are repeating over and over and over again as well, right? We don't have to like think of like, all right, wait, what's a new goal I need to set today? It's like, sometimes you're doing the right thing. It's just you got to do it again and again and again and again, right? Like showing up to the gym is the right thing. And now guess what? I got to do it again tomorrow. And I got to do it again the day after. And I got to do it again the day after. So sometimes, yeah, we're going to have the same goals and the same word. So I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to chip at it a little at a time to get to the whole of it, you know.
Hey, that's how do we build how do we eat an elephant?
There you go.
Wait, what? How do we eat an elephant?
You got to eat it a little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time, yo. Let's go. I love that. All right, Nina, what do we got, Nina? Look us up.
Hey, so the main thing I need to do today is create some ads for these properties that I have under contract. And yeah, the other things, drop off the enrollment packets and listen to some more seller objection calls. And I want to the word of the day for me is committed.
I love that word.
Yeah.
Committed. All right, so I love that. Dang, Nina. All right, I love it. It's on point. I can like already like for some reason when you said your goals, I can like see in my mind you like just getting everything done. No problem.
That's good. It will be done.
Oh, it will be. Yo, we got Jason. What up, Jason? Is Jason still in here? I think Jason dropped off. All right, so we had Jason. Jason popped out. 4 hours of cold calling. Not a problem. We got Marlon inside here. I hit my most important goal. I did not hit one of my goals because it's my admin goal, and I don't like doing admin work. So I'm going to make sure that gets done today. I'm locking myself in a room to do it. But today, my goal is to lock up a portfolio deal, which I'm super hyped about because the numbers look good. So it's just going to be a matter of putting it under contract today. To renegotiate my Sapphire deal, which is just like a lot of land. I had a couple buyers reach out yesterday, and one of them, the highest he came around is $45,000 is what he ideally wants to spend on it. We have it locked up at 47, but I think we could get that number down a little bit lower, or I can get that buyer to come up a little bit higher. Either way, we're going to figure that out today. And then I'm going to take care of that admin work on my end, which really looks like, actually, that's a lie. I did do my admin work because it looks like cleaning up my CRM, which I've been going through and just betting through all the leads, kind of cleaning up, tossing out the ones that have sold, tossing out the old ones, bringing in the new ones, and then really sitting down and doing my accounting for a year's end. So that's going to be today. And then my word, it did not change. I will continue to be persistent. That is my word today. Now we got Tevin. He's decided they're filling it out. And then while Tevin's there, I'm assuming Tanisha is driving. So Tanisha, I don't know if you're driving, but I can hit you with it with the questions if you're driving right now. She might be driving. So we'll let her drive. Angie, what's going on? No, Angie. Sanjana, what's happening?
Good morning.
Good morning. Yo, why is your energy always so good?
It's a lot better today because I was listening to your Instagram call yesterday.
Appreciate it. Oh,
Hey, that got me turned up.
yo, we got so hyped yesterday. I was just like, yeah, we.
That was exciting.
That was very exciting. I'm glad that you were able to listen to that.
Yep, I listened to that after you got finished. So yesterday I did finish my goals. Today I'm going to follow up with realtors, make 5 offers, going to read, and I'm going to stay laser focused. I'm going to put my phone away for the entire day. That's what I got to do.
I like that. You know, it's funny because I do that now. Like iPhone has this like thing now called like focus mode. So I put my phone in focus mode basically all day long, so the notifications can't get me. And like I love it because then I'm able to stay into a task while I'm doing it. Versus like once I'm tunnel vision. Like once something happens, it pulls me out, and once I'm out, I'm out.
Right.
So it's like not allowing things to pull you out prematurely. Oh my gosh, it's been game changing for me.
I got so many people that text me and just try to reach out to me and just, at the store, can I get this? Can I get that? I'm like, I don't care about your $2 fucking bar. Like I don't care if it's in stock. Like stop.
Like, I'm building an empire right now.
Right.
So what is our word today?
It is it's focused.
Focused.
Focus.
Let's go. I freaking love it. Yeah, let's make that happen. And then you said follow up with realtors and putting in 5 offers?
Yes.
Awesome. Freaking love it. Let's go. And then I see Tevin snuck his in up there. So Tevin, what's going on, bro?
Hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning, man.
Oh, man. So yes, I did complete my goals from yesterday. I know I wasn't on here, but I completed my goals. Section 8 follow-up was a part of my goals on Monday. I've been completing that. Like I've been following up with them every single day just to make sure that I'm set for January. And I've been getting in contact with them. I actually got through to the the director who actually makes the decisions. So I even have her phone number and email and everything. So just being persistent is what got me there. Finished reading my business credit book that I have to add more sauce to my business credit program. And I have to call this BOA rep. Oh yeah, I also have a class tonight. Yeah, I have a class tonight.
That's the class that you're running, that you're teaching?
Yeah.
Let's go.
And oh crap, I didn't even finish the word. It was execute.
Let's get it, man. Execute. I freaking love it.
Why is it not allowing me to type?
I just filled it in for you.
Oh. But yeah, that's definitely it. Maurice, I gotta call you today too, actually.
Perfect.
I'll be around.
All right, and then we got Igwe. What's happening, brother?
What's up?
Chilling, man. What do we got? What are we working on today, man?
I got a full day today, so just knocking everything down. Most part. First things first is getting seller calls through. I have like 3 appointments to go to, so I have to make sure I go to each one. and got a leather couch yesterday from a discount store. So somehow I have to figure out how to go pick it up.
The leather couch, man. That's gonna be for like an Airbnb, or that's just for personal?
That's for the B&B.
Oh, that's nice. Freaking love it, man. And then what word do we want to use to describe the type of person that you need to be today?
I just need to keep everything simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
You know the acronym KISS, right?
Yeah.
There we go. I love that though. Simplicity rules the world. Bro, I love this. So did I miss anybody? Jay Ryder. Yo, who's Jay Ryder?
You also miss me. Sheesh. Like I'm not first on that list.
Oh, bro, what? Right. Well, yo, because you put yes, but then you didn't put anything else after that.
Yeah, I had to run out.
Nah, it's all good, bro. What do we got working on today?
Today I have to sweet talk this appraiser to give me a higher number, which is why I kind of wish I had cities and a nice ass right now. And then I gotta finish painting the wall. Finish painting the wall, and I have to figure out why the fuck this title company is not closing my deal, which they're about to get cursed out. And that's it.
No, we're not gonna curse out title company. We can talk to title company. There we go. And then, what sort of person? What describes the word that you want to be today?
Creator.
All right, I like that word, man. We are producers out here. Creator. Yo, let's get it, man. So I know Tanisha's the only one not on this list, but I think she's driving, but she's still tuned in, which we love her. So thanks for being here. So that wraps it up for, oh, and then we got Will. Will, when did you sneak in here? But Will, that's right. Will's doing his morning ritual right now. He can't talk to us.
I was here the whole time.
Yo, what's going on, Will?
Oh wait, hold, let me open. Oh, I'm on the wrong date. Hold up. Yes. Yes, so I did hit my goals. Today's goal is find one buyer and watch video on Turo Business. So those are my two goals for right now. I'll fill that in.
Find one buyer. And then what sort of word describes the type of person you're going to be today?
Alert.
Yeah. You want to talk about it, bro?
Stop picking on me. You always be picking on me.
No, I'm not picking on you, man. You said alert. It sounds like someone just like stole your bike, bro. All right, bro. But this is morning mindset coffee. And Maurice, actually, while you're walking around, I don't know if you have a word that you want to end it off with.
Yeah, what's today? Wednesday, right?
Today's Wednesday.
Today is a Wednesday. Is a happy hump day. Get humping on y'all fucking. Excuse me. I'm all cursing and whatnot early in the morning. Happy hump day. Let's get active. Let's be productive, and let's hump these goals right into the ground and be successful, man. That's it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So on that note, I'm gonna end this recording. Appreciate everybody for being here. Now get ready for the after party.